the first year that I was a teacher here, I had a job very similar to Mr. Flanagan's. I had just graduated from college and I was teaching sophomore English and some freshman English and some other things as well. And in my first class, one of my first classes, the first time that I ever taught, I had a student who was also new to the school. And in many ways, there was a sense of anxiety that I had because the student, right before starting at St. Stephen's, had shaved his head and had put on combat boots and had tucked his pants into his combat boots and was exceedingly quiet, wouldn't talk to very many people at all. It turned out that his first few assignments in writing, they needed a good deal of work, and so we worked with him. By the time that he had graduated, Pedro Ramos was had received the Headmaster's Award at graduation. He also received the Alumni Award. He also was the student most responsible for working with other students in forming a club called Students Against Destructive Decisions. I remember as a sponsor of that club, one of the things that we wanted to do was have a fundraiser and get keychains. And so Pedro, I still have the Students Against Destructive Decisions keychain. He is a graduate from 1991 here at St. Stephen's, so before any of these students were born. And he had a very long-lasting contribution to the students at this school, setting up a model of proper decision-making, of healthy lifestyle, and good decisions. He earned a scholarship to Gettysburg College, and now works as a manager with Delta Airlines in the Atlanta airport, working with international Latin American travel, especially dealing with flight attendants. And so, Pedro, come forward, please.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Patrick. Good morning, everyone. Very glad to be here. Very cool to see all of you. We all have something in common. I came to the school in '88, graduated in '91. When Patrick asked me to come here and talk to you guys, before he finished asking the question, I already knew what I wanted to say. It was very easy to talk about things we love, things we're excited about, things we're passionate about. So that's what I'm going to do. All I'm going to do with you guys for the next few minutes is just share 2 turning points in my life because they happen right here in this school. So first, I need to tell you who I was and where I was coming from back in 1988. I moved to Bradenton that summer, and I actually went to Manatee High School first. When I showed up at Manatee High School, I was a punk rocker. I'm from Puerto Rico. I had just moved here, had my accent, punk rocker, spoke Spanish, had a mohawk. So get this, I go to Manatee High School. Before 3rd period that day, I'm in the dean's office. I'm in trouble. So here's this dean, Dean Mackey, telling me, boy, you have to shave your head. I can't do that southern accent, even though I've been here. But he told me, you have to shave your head because you're a distraction to all the students here. 3rd period, 1st day. I'm already feeling rejected, bummed. He's telling me what I need to look like. I told him, hey, listen, all the football players out there look like this. Hair on the top, shaved sides. He's like, I don't care. We're talking about you and you're shaving your head. Had to shave my head, defeated, went home almost in tears. So my mom recognized what was going on in my life. So without me knowing, she started looking for school. And one day after 3 weeks of misery in Manatee High School, I come home from school and she says, Pedro, I found a school for you. So right at that moment, I jumped in the car. We make our way up here to 43rd or 41st Street? 41st Street. And of course, it wasn't this gigantic building. It was in that building that says grades 4, 5, and 6. I go in, and they're like, this is the school. So I'm like, okay, there's a library and classrooms around. But what I remember that day is that the upper school director met me right at the entrance. Judy Sutherland. She was the upper school director back then. And in a very charming southern accent, she said, welcome to St. Stephen's, gave me a tour. My mom and I gave us a tour. And I just remember feeling from the very first moment, very welcome, very accepted, even though I looked like what a lot of people thought maybe was a freak, this punk rock, hardcore kid that speaks Spanish from Puerto Rico. And let me tell you, as you go on through life, you're not going to remember a lot of the things that people tell you, but you'll always remember how they made you feel. And I'll never forget how Judy made me feel that day. Because it was not just that first moment, that first impression. It was an ongoing process, and that experience that was St. Stephen's for the next 3 years. That made it such a great experience. So, I graduated from high school, go to college, study abroad. What happens? I'm in Spain studying, having the time of my life. The year is 1993, all of a sudden, 2 in the morning, the phone rings. Who could it be? Pedro's for you. My sister tells me, Pedro, mom is sick. You need to come home. Mind you, my father had just died. He actually died in '88. That's the reason I ended up in Bradenton, Florida. So now I'm scared to death. I'm taking care of my mom. I'm in the middle of my junior year of college. And I'm supposed to be this adult taking care of my mom. I wasn't ready to do that. I was scared. I was suffering from anxiety. I didn't know what was happening inside of me, but it wasn't a good thing, let me tell you. The prospect of staying an orphan when you're only 20 years old is not a good thing. It's very scary. So get this. I'm watching TV one day in the middle of all the stress and my mom with months to live. And I remember there was a hospital, a Tampa-based behavioral health hospital. You guys probably haven't heard of it. It's called Charter Behavioral Health. They're no longer around. But they had a commercial that at the very end had this pitch. And it said, please, if you don't get help from Charter, get help somewhere. And I thought to myself, this light bulb went on in my head, and I thought, okay, I don't see myself calling an 800 number and pouring my emotions and, hey, I'm scared, my mom's dying, to some complete stranger. But I thought, where could I go? Where is my support group here? I was living on the island, and I thought, St. Stephen's. What do? I get in my car, run right here to the upper school, to that building that says grade 4, 5, and 6, and who's there to meet me? Without me planning it, Judy Sullivan. In 3 minutes, I summarize my situation to Judy. Judy, I have to take off some time from school. My mom's dying. I don't know what's going to happen to me. I'm going to be an orphan in a few months. I don't know how to, I can't handle this. This is too much. With this peace and calmness, and she just said, Pedro, I have the person just for you. Go see Marilyn, go see Christ Episcopal Church. Back then, Marilyn was a deacon. She turned out to be like a therapist, spiritual guide type of person. And she basically saved my life that summer. I don't know what would have happened to me, but I can tell you right now that was too much for me to deal with, having a second parent dying on me. So, what I want you guys to know is that everything this school has meant for me, I can go on forever and talk about it. But I wanted to focus on Judy today because as I knew that I was coming here to talk to all of you, I started calling all my close friends from St. Stephen's who are still my tight buddies for today. And I told guys, I love St. Stephen's. I want to talk a little bit about Judy, so tell me 3 things you remember about Judy Sullivan. And here's the great thing about that experiment. This was 24 years ago when I first got to St. Stephen's. And when I was in school here with all these guys, and they all consistently said the same thing. They go, Judy cares about her students, genuinely understands. Now, we all know there's this notion about a discrepancy between generations. They don't understand each other. Parents understand us, when we're kids. But Judy, everybody said that. And the great thing about it is that when I asked all my friends, Jason, Zach, Ryan, they all said that like without hesitating. It's not like, let me think about Judy for a second, what I can say about Judy. They spit it right out. She genuinely cares, genuinely understands us. So, St. Stephen's for me has been family, has been a place of growth. And what Judy has given me, that's her legacy. 24 years later, I'm sitting here in front of all you guys to tell you that she was that ray of sunlight breaking through the clouds to save my life. I credit her for saving my life and my sanity because those were some really, really difficult times. If you guys want to have some fun, pull up some yearbooks from 88 through 91. You're going to see somebody who looks just like me with a shaved head, except that back then, that was voluntarily shaving my head. Now I have no hair, so I involuntarily have to shave my head to look somewhat decent. But anyways, I leave you with that. I hope you cherish Judy as much as I do, and value her, because she was leaving behind a great legacy. That's all I have to say.